welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Chelsea, and if you're new around here, we like to do beauty related content on this channel. If that's something that you like, then please hit subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, then please click on the little bell and you'll be notified of every time that I upload, which is a few times a week. So if you don't know by today's title, we are going to be doing a testing video of the new Plouise All I See Is Signs palette, which is right here. I am actually going to do 2 looks one palette again because I feel like that'll be the best way to give you the best review of it, so then I can try and test out as many shades as possible and, you know, give you a bit of inspiration on what looks you can create with this palette. So if you want to see what looks I come up with and hear my final thoughts, then please stay tuned. I'll also include some swatches as well. But first of all, this palette is actually so big. Like, her large palettes are humongous. Like, look how thick it is. But the level of detail that goes into the packaging is insane. So this palette retails for £41.50, and I'm going to show you a close-up swatch. No, not a swatch. Close-up video of inside the packaging. But this is the outer carton. So this is the box. This bit is actually see-through, and inside, like that bit there, is the actual palette. So I'm just going to open it up, and obviously the back is just full of like quirky little logo design things. I just love all of this stuff. Like, it's actually really cool. So let me just open it up. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to show you a close-up of the packaging now, because inside the little dollar notes, they actually move, and just there's so much detail into each of them. Like, there's like little note on the money notes, if that makes sense, and like 777 positive vibes, 123 abundance, and then you've even got the clasp as well, which is such a lovely little touch. Yeah, absolutely love that. So this is the same size as Worldy, and I believe the original, not the original one, but the first large palette that she done, I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, they all retail for approximately £40 odd. So it says, the universe doesn't answer questions, babe, it simply gives you signs. Everything in your life is connected. Your success, your circumstances, your purpose, your vision, your journey and your destiny. It's all molding you into the highest self. Embrace it. Trust in the universe and its guidance. The money is flowing, the success is growing, and your highest self is showing. Your grateful heart is a magnet to success, good wealth, and a whole lot of money, honey. It doesn't need to make sense if you're making the dollars, babe. Hustle hard, the universe is always watching. And this is a pressed pigment palette featuring 21 shades. So yeah, I'm so excited to play around with this. I sort of know what look I want to create, but I do believe this is the prettiest palette that I probably own. Even the little sheet protector thing is really cute, but the shimmers in here look so buttery, and even this outer bit, so like this border is like glittery as well, and it just looks like you've got shimmer all over it. I just can't even get over how pretty it is. Like, I don't want to touch it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into some swatches now, and then we will start with the first look. So these are all the shades swatch, and just look how beautiful they are. These shimmers are literally out of this world. They're the same formula as the Mini Love Tapes one, and I found that those were so buttery, and as are these. They were literally just like one swipe. The mattes are super pigmented. The only matte that didn't really swatch well is this one right here, which is Make a Wish. It's quite a light coral, but I'm sure with a base underneath it'll be absolutely fine. This shimmer here was literally like liquid gold. It swatched so beautifully, as did this one as well, and this basically all the shimmers did. But yeah, it's a really nice warm toned sunset color story, and I'm here for it. So I'm so excited to play around with it now, and let's get into the first look. Now, you just need to be careful, like a warning, because pressed pigments do stain. So just an FYI, if you don't like staining, then this probably isn't going to be the palette for you, but I don't mind it that much, as long as it's not real bad. So as always, we're going to start off with the Plouise Rumour Shade to Base. So this is just going to prime my lids. I'm just taking a large flat brush, and I'm just going to pat it in. Now once that's done, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush to make sure that's all blended in seamlessly, so then my foundation later on will blend in well. Okay, so we are all primed. Just going to use a Morphe M456 brush, so quite a flat but fluffy brush, and we're going to go in with, it's going to be hard to hold this palette up each time, 1111, so this dark, rich, chocolatey brown, and I'm going to pack that on my outer V. Quite a pigmented shade, a lot picked up. That's a really nice deep shade. I'm just putting that all into my crease all the way around, because I think the first look I'm going to do is a cut crease. It's got quite a purple undertone to it, so this is more like an aubergine colour rather than that rich dark brown, which I was hoping it was going to be. Okay, so I've got that colour down, and I'm just going to take a clean Morphe M562 brush, which is just a very thin, like small fluffy brush, blending brush, that's the one. And I've got no product on it, but I'm just going to blend out the outer edges, which will make it easier for our next shade to then blend into. Like so. And then taking a Peaches PC34 brush, which is just a small fluffy blending brush. I'm then going to go into shade Fern, which is this shade here, this orangey shade, like terracotta kind of shade. And that is going to be my medium blending shade. So it's very, very pigmented again. Tap it out, and then I'm just going to put that 50 on, 50 off. Then again, I'm just going to take my clean Morphe M562 brush and blend it out. And then we're going to put on with a Spectrum B06 brush, which is a larger blending brush. We're going to go in with Plouise, so this shade here, and that's going to be our lighter shade. Okay, so they are our colours down. So now I'm just going to go back through the three and just keep blending them. So I'm going to go back in with my orangey, so I'm going to intensify that bit. And then with no extra colour, I'm going to go in with my yellow brush and just blend it out. And then back in my orange one. And then back in my yellow one. And that's a really nice blend so far. And then we're going to go back in with the darker brush with a touch more of the 1111 shade. And then with my orange brush. And then just repeating those steps until you get your perfect blend. And then even with a larger brush, I'm going to use the Morphe M533 brush. I'm then going to go into the Secret, which is this pastel yellow here, and just dip my brush into that, tap it off, and then just do the very outer edge here. Clear my brow. Some people don't like going right up into the brow, but I haven't got that much lid space, so you know, you need to make do with what you've got. And now we've got a really nice sunset blend. I'm actually quite chuffed with it, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off camera, do the other eye, cut my crease, and then we'll be right back. So we're back and we have cut the crease. So what I did was I just got some makeup remover and just with a cotton bud and just remove the shadow of where I wanted to place the cut crease, and then I put on Plouise and Min Mitchell the Acid Rain blank canvas, and then that's what I used to cut the crease. They're not the neatest. I'm still not the neatest person at cut creasing, but you know, we are getting better. And then what I do is just for the little areas that I do need to tidy up, just get my darkest shade and like a little liner brush, and I just go around the edges that I just need to tidy up, and yeah, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back into that 1111 shade, so our dark shade, and just tap it here. And then I'm going to go in with a flat brush, and we're going to go into Universe. Where is it? Here. I'm going to put that next to it. Oh, that's a really nice shade. And then another flat brush, and I'm going to go into that pastel yellow that we used on the outer edge, so the Secret, and put that on the inner corner. Okay, so that's the lid pretty much done. I'm also going to go into a shimmer now. So I'm going to use this higher power shimmer, so just here. I'm just going to really lightly press my finger into it. Oh, it comes off quite a lot. And just dab. Just on the inner part. Wow, that's really nice. It just gives it that little bit of sparkle. And then I'm also going to take a pencil brush and go back into it and put that as my inner corner. And under my brow bone as well. That is a perfect inner corner and brow bone highlight. I might even use that as my highlight for today as well. I'm just going to then finish off the rest of my face, and then we'll come back to do blush and highlight using the shades in this palette, because you know we like a multi-use palette. So be right back. So this is where we're at so far. The eyes are done. I've actually just added the Plouise, well, they're meant to be eyes on my money lashes, which is what I brought in the, well, what I got in the budget box. And if you watch my video of the budget box, then you'll know what I'm on about. And if you haven't watched it, I'll link it down below. But actually, I think these lashes, I think they've put the wrong lashes in this packaging. So I think the lashes that I've actually got are called Rich Babes World, which are these ones. And then the ones that match this packaging are actually these ones. So those ones look a lot more fuller, which I prefer those ones. And I did message Plouise Makeup Academy, and they said to get in contact with the customer service team and they'll be able to help. But you had to have included your packing slip, and by then I already threw it away. So I just thought there's no point. So yeah, I got these ones. I don't really like the style of these ones, if I'm honest. The band is very, very thin, very flexible. They seemed okay to apply. The corners took a bit of a while to stick down, but I don't know if that's to do with the lash or me. But yeah, I would have preferred the fuller ones. These are very wispy and very long, and they look quite nice on camera actually, but they're not really lash that I'd normally go for. But that's just personal preference. Nothing to do with the lash, it's just my preference. So what we're going to do is go back into the palette, and we're going to do blush and highlight with the palette, because I feel like some of these shades in here will go perfect for that. So I'm just taking a blank canvas brush, and I'm going to go to Higher Power, that shade there, the palest shimmer shade. I think this will go really nice as a highlight. It's super pigmented as well. Oh, look at that. Perfect. If you don't like glittery highlighters, then you're probably not going to like this, because it is quite a glittery shade. I actually quite like it. There's the highlight done. Yeah, beautiful. And then I'm going to go into, I'm going to dip along these three. I'm going to mix to make my blush. So I'm just going to take a Spectrum A05 brush, and I'm just going to dip into all three and really tap it out. I'm just going to tap it into my hand, just work it into my hand a bit, and then I'm going to, that's a really pretty flush of colour. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm going to bring it up here a bit. Blended all really nicely together. You could probably use some of the shades in here as a bronzer actually, to be fair. Like Dreamer shade, which is that shade there could be used as a bronzer. Or if you're darker complexion to me, maybe that shade. And there we have it. There's the finished look for look 1 is complete. So, look 1 done. We used the palette on the eyes, we've done a full-on cut crease, we've used a shade for the highlighter, we've used the blush shade, we've used the lashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off camera, take all this off, and then we're going to do like a nice softer, blown out look, I think, which I'm going to do a voiceover, otherwise I think this video will be very long otherwise. So yeah, I will jump back on in just a minute. Right, so we're back for round 2. Already done my face this time, because we're just going to do a more simple blown out look. Been filming this video for 4 hours. I did have pizza in between though. So now we're going to go and grab the Plouise Base Shade 2 and just pat that onto my lid, and also bring it out to the outer edge, because we're going to blend it out just like normal. And then we're going to go into this shade here, which is just a chocolatey brown. And I'm going to use a fluffy morph brush, and I'm just going to put that on the outer edge, but I'm also then going to just diffuse it out, because I'm going to bring it right out to my temple. Just really going back into that abundant shade and just intensifying the pigment, diffusing it out, and then also bringing it into my inner part of my eye. Now I'm going to go in with a larger brush. So this is more of like a cheek brush or highlighter brush, but I'm going to go back into that abundant shade and then just blend it out to my temples. And I find using a larger brush helps diffuse it and is a lot more quicker. And then we're going into Money Fest, and we're going to bring that on the inner part of our eye and just help blend out that abundant shade. And then we're going into that Make-A-Wish shade, which is a beautiful coral colour, and I'm going to take a Peaches brush and I'm just going to diffuse that all over the lid and then blend it out. And now time for shimmer. So I'm just going to go into the Inspire shade and I'm just going to pop that on my finger and then just really lightly press it over the coral shade. And then back into my favourite shade, Higher Power, and I'm just going to use my Urban Decay brush and just really lightly tap on the inner portion of my eye, and then I'm going to bring that all over my brow bone and just create that extra dimension. And then we're going to go back into Abundance and then just re-intensify that shade. And then once we've smoked out everything, we're just going to then bring the shadows to the lower lash line. I'm just going to use the same shadows as before and then just make sure it's all blended cohesively. So this is the second look. So we've gone for a much more summery vibe, just like shimmer, just blown out, blushed up to the max. I've done exactly the same as what I did before. This time I just intensified it a little bit more and just brought it around to my eyeshadow. And then again I took Higher Power, so this shade here, and used that as part of my highlight. I actually really love this look. I love corals in the summer and I love the corals in this palette. That's one of the reasons that drew me in. So now that I've done two looks, I've used it as blush, I've used it as highlight, what are my thoughts? So first of all, the packaging, you've got to give it to her. I think this is my favourite packaging of Plouise so far. I just think it just looks beautiful, and all the detail, even like the clasp and stuff like that, and on the inside, absolutely love this colour story. Love the background of it as well. I think everything is so cohesive. Like I could have literally sat here and done more and more and more looks. Like I don't think I've been so inspired by a palette for ages. Like, there's so much that you could do with this palette and I love the formula of them. The shimmers worked excellently. Is excellently a word? I don't know. But the shimmers worked really well. They're so buttery, so pigmented. Mattes blended out like a dream. I had no trouble whatsoever with any of the shadows, to be honest. Absolutely love it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below what you think of the two looks that I created and what you think of this palette, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's enough of me, and yeah, hopefully she'll see you in the next video. Bye!